So let's talk first about food guidelines. So do everybody remember the old food pyramid that we were taught by the FDA, you know, with this big breads on the bottom and the vegetable group little here and the fruit group here, and all this gets little and little? Well, we've learned over time that that doesn't work so good, right? So why do you think that doesn't work so good? To have all those breads on the bottom.
Because we don't need that much bread.
Yeah, it's a lot of bread, isn't it? A lot of breads and grains in our life, in our body. Yeah, it kind of makes you tired when you eat that much. Makes you get inflammation in your body and feel sick sometimes. So this is the new pyramid. Now, one of the important things to know, this is put out by our federal government, right, the USDA, and it's a food guideline. So the new pyramid looks different, right? We have the meats and beans over here, bigger section, and you see that they added beans to this, and before it was just meats, right? And then we have milk products and fats, and then fruits here, vegetables here, and grains here. And even though grains is smaller here than here, it could probably even still stand to be smaller based on the most current research that we have, right? So one important thing to know is that this is a guideline, right? Every one of us, our bodies aren't exactly the same. And what works for you might be different than what works for your friend or for another family member. So what are one of the big differences that, you know, somebody might have from one diet to the other? What are some differences?
I know I can't drink as much water as some people drink, but I cannot do that.
You can't, yeah, so your body's a little bit different. It can't handle as much water. Right, and some people don't eat meat, right? So they'd have to change the pyramid a little bit. And then if I ate as much grains as on here, I'd have so many health problems, you know, because of all the inflammation that would cause in my body. But somebody else might be able to eat more grains. So the key is to have some balance there and to pay attention to how your body feels based on what you eat, and we'll get more into that. But as you can see, we've learned over time that eating all those refined breads and sugars don't work very well for us. One of the reasons is as many of you know, a couple hundred years ago, there were really not very many grains in our diet. We mostly had a meat and vegetable diet, what some people now call a caveman diet or a Paleolithic diet, but that's really what our ancestors ate more of. And what I always say is the healthiest food is what our grandparents used to cook. So a lot of what you used to cook or your parents used to cook is one of the healthiest ways to eat. So this is what the new plate looks like. It has vegetables. I know it's too far to see from there, but I'll just tell you, half of your plate should be fruits and vegetables, and really mostly vegetables. So half of your plate could be just vegetables with maybe a very small part of fruit, just to give you something for like a dessert. And then the other side would be protein and a little bit of grain. And they have dairy on here, but how many of you think that you should have dairy? Dairy products. Do you feel like you have to have dairy products?
Yeah.
So you can have dairy products, but you could completely live without dairy products.
I don't drink milk.
Yeah, some people don't drink milk, they're intolerant, so they get their calcium from their vegetables. So you can get the same thing from eating a good quality vegetables as you can from dairy products, and eating the grains with protein in it to get the protein part of that. So some of you may do very well on dairy products, and some of you probably should never eat dairy products. It's one of the things that people are highly sensitive to. So we'll get more into that too.